Hey guys, you're listening to Vol as always. It is War Machine and Hordes, and the other week my friend Greg came around to my place to play a game at 35 points level. Greg plays Circle of Orboros as well, and to be honest, he's the only other person I can really play against who gives me the opportunity to play Circle against Circle. Greg has pretty much started at the same time as me, but obviously has as much free time and dedication to, collect as many models and paint them all up as quickly. Greg's mainly been using what is just basic battle box with P. Kaya, and recently has bought Chromac and Mohsar, who he's practicing with a bit more. I've talked him into playing a 35-point game. Normally he plays at 15, 25 points level, so I don't really want to hear any negative comments about his list, of course. When he came over, I basically convinced him to pick up some extra models off the shelf and chuck them into his army so that we could play a game, plus he's borrowed some of my shifting stones. So if you look at the video description, he's got Mohsar with, a few war beasts, minimum unit of Bloodtrackers shifting stones. And I'm trying out Baldur for the first time ever. This will be my first game with Baldur. Gives me an opportunity to use my Woldguardian, who's featured in this game, and Megalith and the Woldwarden, and the Druids, who I think aren't a bad choice with Baldur, because with Baldur's feet they get cover, so they're immune to AoEs for a turn, which is a weakness of theirs. Plus, it gives you a chance to put enemy models out of their threat ranges and bring them into your threat ranges with your slow-moving beasts. So that will be quite cool. Also, we're playing the Revelation scenario for this one. Next image, having a look at Greg's setup here. He's basically just got Mohsar on a hill, Warbeast back, and Bloodtrackers up forward with the shifting stones as well. And should just be a pretty straight up sort of battle. Next image, this is me going first, moving everything up. Druid's creating a lot of little vortex clouds here. You'll notice that the model that I'm using to represent Baldur at the back and the bottom left is not the actual Baldur model. He's in the post to me, so I'm just using one of my other Reaper miniatures off the shelf to represent him in the meantime. But yeah, just everybody just shifting out. Baldur is going to be an interesting one to play. I'm planning on using him a fair bit more in the future once I get the models I need for a serious army. But he's quite cool because he really denies the enemy a lot of stuff with his feet and with forests everywhere, and to be able to get the most out of your wolds, it's great because wolds have some advantages that the normal warp wolves and satyrs don't have. They're much tougher, and of course you've got things like geomancy, and some of the animus are very, very, very good defensively. So he's always a really good tool in the box if you're playing like a multicaster tournament. Next image, this is Greg's responding turn. You can see a lot of templates on the table here. The plastic ones closer to his side are the Pillars of Salt, of course, preventing me from moving up and doing magic on his Bloodtrackers. I've got counter magic up, which I think is another really good thing about having the Druids and Baldur's list, is you can prevent the enemy from debuffing your wolds and moving them around with magic, which I think is a big deal. And of course, I've got a big forest, 4-inch AoE forest right in the middle there. But just generally, he's not doing too much in his first turn, just gearing up, and of course we'll be hitting the objectives a little bit later. The next image, I've got a Wold moving up. He's got stone skin on him and geomancying earth spikes onto the Satyr in the left-hand side there. The Satyr, of course, taking some damage from that because earth spikes ignores cover, which is another really cool thing about that spell, so that'll help me kill the Satyr a little bit later. Plus, at the moment, the Wold is within range to contest that objective, which is number 1. We rolled up that this particular objective was the one you have to capture first towards the scenario. So next image here, what he does is he moves the Satyr out from behind the wall and then leaps over and attempts to power attack, double-handed throw the Wold back towards his own line so that the rest of his army can deal with it. Now, there were a couple of things throughout this game which really sort of went wrong and detracted from this being one of the better games I've played, but I thought I'd just do the battle report anyway, just because I've got the photos and they look alright. He cast Virility on the Shadowhorn Satyr here just to give him a free opportunity to throw, but he was really unlucky. He rolled a 1 and a 2 and managed to fail his attack, and my Wold broke free of the throw. Now, at the time, neither of us were really particularly sure whether you could use a power attack more than once in your activation, because Virility allows you to throw for free. So Greg was asking, well, can you just try throwing again? Now, intuitively, I thought probably not, but just to give them the benefit of the doubt, we'd let them do it anyway. And later on, we checked the rules a bit more thoroughly, checked with some other people who knew, and realized that you actually can't throw more than once, because you've basically got to forfeit your action to do a power attack, and you know that's it. You can only do one power attack. So going to the next image, he's actually thrown the Wold all the way over to his lines. You know, again, incorrectly, but you're playing on. Just a bit of a learning game for both of us, being, a bit newer to some of the exotic stuff you do in the game. Another thing that we did wrong here is that Mohsar then comes along and casts Geomancy on the Woldwarden. In fact, I think his Woldwarden did that, using Geomancy rather. And at this point, I hadn't even bothered to check to see whether the Druids were in range for counter magic onto the Wold, because if that Wold is 10 inches away from the Druid, which you can see sitting at the back there with his little Volge raised in the air, then that would have meant he couldn't have even put counter magic on me. Sorry, not counter magic, Curse of Shadows on me. But he did anyway. Let's go to the next photo. What happens here is that he attacks me with his Bloodtrackers and everybody else, and the Stalker eventually walks over here and smashes him. So that's the end of my Wold. So a bit of a bummer there. Next image, my turn, and what I do here is I move around a bit with the Druids, and I use Force Bolt to bring his Wold over here. Megalith moves over and smashes him, so it doesn't quite kill him, but Baldur himself has rushed across with charge and killed the Shadowhorn, who was already weakened from other stuff that I'd done, like Earth Spikes. And at this point, Baldur pops the feat. So the significance of this is that enemy models lose Pathfinder, which is what's really awesome about that feat. And all my guys have got cover. And what this means is that if he even wants to move over with his Woldwarden, he won't be able to, and the Stalker, even with Pathfinder, loses Pathfinder, can't run over here and attack me. So I figured this would be a pretty good move. Next image, though, one thing I'd completely forgotten, this is just absolute, me being a moron, is that the Stalker's actually inside the Shifting Stones area, so he teleports the Stalker and is able to hit me with Reach and kill me here. But again, I forgot that Baldur's feat grants cover, so Baldur would have actually been +4 defense here as well, if I understand the feat correctly. So, a bit of a learning game. We had to end the game here because basically Baldur died, but as you can see throughout the game, making mistakes with the rules left and right. But it was still a good game to get our heads around this, and had we not played the game, obviously we wouldn't have, deepened our understanding as players as to what you're meant to actually do in these situations. So looking forward to my next game with Greg, actually. Hopefully we'll play a bit more of a tighter rules game and learn more about Mohsar and Baldur. But for the meantime, I'm not disappointed at all with Baldur. I think he has a lot of potential, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he works in higher lists. With the model collection I have at the moment, I don't really have a good 50-point list lined up for him, but maybe in future I'll get more stuff for him. But definitely at 35 points, I'm quite happy with the one that I ran today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll catch you a bit later.